Good day, everyone. This is Europe Consulting Group presenting the strategic recommendation for Intel in the GPU industry. Before moving into the recommendation, let us first have a brief recap of the key findings that shaped our strategic direction. We begin with Porter's 5 forces, which help us understand the competitive pressures surrounding Intel in the GPU industry. The 5 forces examined were the threat of new entrants, threat of substitutes, bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of customers, and competitive rivalry. For the threat of new entrants, the force is rated moderate to low. The GPU market is attractive because of AI growth and potential entrants such as hyperscalers, AI chip startups, and semiconductor firms have reason to enter. However, entry remains difficult. GPU competition requires high capital investment, advanced R&D, software ecosystems, manufacturing access, and the ability to compete against strong incumbents such as NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel. Overall, the new entry is limited because although the industry is profitable, the barriers are still very high. This means Intel is protected from small new entrants but not necessarily from large technology firms with deep resources. For the threat of substitutes, the force is rated moderate. GPUs can be substituted in some uses by CPUs, FPGAs, NPUs, integrated graphics, and custom AI ASICs. However, GPU remain difficult to fully replace because of their flexibility and strong software support. This is important because the industry is no longer only about hardware, but also about the ecosystem built around that hardware. Supplier power is rated moderate to high. GPU production depends on a small number of specialized suppliers of advanced wafers, high bandwidth memory, packaging, substrates, and lithography tools. This creates pressure because switching suppliers is difficult. Advanced GPU production requires technical compatibility, yield reliability, packaging support, and long-term capacity planning. Overall, supplier power is strong because the inputs needed for AI GPUs are scarce, differentiated, and difficult to replace at scale. Buyer power is rated moderate. Large buyers such as hyperscalers, cloud providers, OEMs, enterprise customers, and distributors purchase in high volume, giving them negotiation power. At the same time, buyer power is limited by software lock-in and product differentiation. In high-end AI workloads, not all alternatives can match the performance, reliability, and ecosystem maturity of the leading platforms. Therefore, customers have influence, but they are still constrained by the lack of equally strong alternatives, especially in high-end AI GPUs. Competitive rivalry is rated high. The industry is led by a few major players, mainly NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel, but their positions are unequal. Rivalry is intensified by high fixed costs, fast innovation cycles, switching costs, and the strategic importance of GPUs in AI, data centers, cloud computing, and national technology strategy. Overall, rivalry is fierce because firms are no longer competing only through chips. They're also competing through software ecosystems, AI infrastructure, packaging access, memory supply, pricing, and customer relationships. After this industry recap, we now move to the summary of rivals. Through the value chain framework, Intel, NVIDIA, and AMD show very different operating models. Intel is built around IDM 2.0, combining internal manufacturing, advanced process technology, and foundry capability. NVIDIA and AMD, on the other hand, are fabless and rely heavily on external suppliers such as TSMC. In inbound logistics and marketing, NVIDIA has the strongest ecosystem because it sells not just GPU, but a complete AI infrastructure platform. AMD positions itself as the strongest alternative, while Intel is still building traction through data center and AI, cloud computing, Gaudi, Arc, and its AI everywhere narrative. In after-sales, service, and infrastructure, NVIDIA again leads through CUDA, Tensor RT, enterprise support, and professional services. Intel has won API, OpenVINO, and ISV partnerships, but its ecosystem is still not as deep or as widely adopted as NVIDIA's. Looking at HR and procurement, Intel's restructuring shows that it is still in a transformation stage. It is trying to become faster and flatter while retaining critical engineers for 18A and 14A, while NVIDIA and AMD continue competing aggressively for AI and GPU talent. And technology development, Intel has the broadest R&D scope, covering CPUs, GPUs, process nodes, networking, high-NA EUV, and open software. However, this breadth is also a weakness because its GPU focus is more diluted compared with NVIDIA, whose R&D is almost entirely aligned with AI and GPU acceleration. Next, we look at the VRIO analysis. For Intel, advanced process technology, IDM 2.0, and government-backed financial resources are valuable, rare, and costly to imitate, but they only provide temporary advantage because execution and monetization remain incomplete. Intel's Gaudi AI Accelerator, One API, OpenVINO, and ISV partnerships are relevant capabilities, but they only provide competitive parity. Meanwhile, Intel's global fab and packaging infrastructure currently appears as a disadvantage because it carries high fixed costs without yet producing strong GPU returns. For NVIDIA, the VRIO results are much stronger. CUDA, its full-stack AI platform, and its architecture and innovation cadence all provide sustained competitive advantage. NVIDIA also has sustained advantage in its AI data center customer ecosystem and financial resources. Its fabless manufacturing model is not rare by itself, but NVIDIA's ability to secure priority access to TSMC, CoWoS, and HBM supply strengthens its position. For AMD, sustained advantages come from chiplet architecture, Infinity Fabric, heterogeneous packaging, CPU-GPU adaptive computing, and semi-custom relationships with Sony and Microsoft. However, AMD's ROCm software stack, AI customer relationships, and financial resources remain closer to competitive parity. This shows that AMD is a stronger alternative than Intel, but still does not match NVIDIA's ecosystem leadership. After assessing resources and capabilities, the next step is the scoring matrix for key success factors. The highest weight is assigned to software ecosystem and developer support at point 20, because CUDA's platform lock-in is the defining dynamic in the GPU industry. GPU architecture innovation follows at point 18, while system-level AI platform integration receives point 16 because the market is shifting from selling chips to selling complete infrastructure. Access to advanced manufacturing, HBM, and packaging is also important because supply is a real constraint. Energy efficiency, training and inference coverage, and supply chain resilience are also included because customers increasingly consider power costs, deployment flexibility, and geopolitical risks. We now move to the competitive strength assessment. Based on the weighted scores, NVIDIA ranks first with 3.82 out of 4, AMD ranks second with 2.71, and Intel ranks third with 2.03. Intel's only leading position is supply chain resilience and geopolitical compliance, while it scores lower in software ecosystem, innovation cadence, and AI platform integration, as well as training inference coverage. With a competitive gap established, we now identify Intel's core competencies. First is advanced semiconductor manufacturing. Intel's 8A node, Ribbon FET, and PowerVia supports its attempt to restore process leadership. The second is IDM 2.0 and foundry capability. Unlike NVIDIA and AMD, Intel can combine chip design, fabrication, packaging, and foundry services within one broader system. The third is advanced packaging and process technology. This matters because AI chips increasingly depend on memory integration, chiplet scaling, and packaging efficiency. The fourth is x86-based platform integration. Intel can connect GPUs and AI accelerators with Xeon, Core Ultra, AI PCs, and enterprise platforms. The fifth is trusted supply chain resilience. Intel's US and European fab presence gives it a geopolitical advantage in markets that care about secure and diversified supply. Finally, Intel has broad R&D capabilities across high-NA EUV, Xe architecture, open software, AI accelerators, and advanced process nodes. However, this must be framed carefully because broad R&D does not automatically mean GPU leadership. We now move to the SWOT analysis. SWOT allows us to connect Intel's internal strengths and weaknesses with the external opportunities and threats in the GPU industry. Intel's strengths include advanced process technology and IDM 2.0, open software direction, x86 platform integration, government-backed supply resilience, and presence across multiple GPU segments. Its weaknesses are also clear. Intel has a weak GPU market position, a software ecosystem gap, roadmap instability, high fixed costs, underutilized foundry and packaging infrastructure, and lower brand trust in discrete GPUs. On the opportunity side, Intel can benefit from AI infrastructure growth, the AI inference market, open ecosystem demand, AI PCs and edge AI, and custom GPUs and ASICs. But Intel also faces major threats. This includes NVIDIA's CUDA lock-in, AMD's position as a stronger alternative, export controls and geopolitical risks, HBM and advanced packaging bottlenecks, and rising energy and data center constraints. The SWOT matrix then translates these factors into strategic actions. The matrix groups Intel's possible strategies into SO, ST, WO, and WT strategies. The SO strategies focus on using Intel's strengths to capture opportunities. Intel can use its foundry and packaging capabilities to serve AI demand, expand AI PCs and enterprise inference through CPU-GPU integration, promote itself as an open alternative to NVIDIA, and use government-backed supply resilience to win trusted AI infrastructure customers. The matrix then moves to ST strategies, which use strengths to defend against threats. This includes using supply resilience to reduce geopolitical risk, competing through platform integration instead of GPU power alone, strengthening open ecosystem, positioning against CUDA lock-in, and improving performance per watt and packaging efficiency. Next are the WO strategies, which use opportunities to address weaknesses. Intel must close the software ecosystem gap, focus first on AI inference, AI PCs, and edge AI, stabilize its GPU roadmap, and use custom GPU and ASIC opportunities to improve financial returns. Finally, the matrix turns into WT strategies, which reduce weaknesses to avoid threats. Intel should avoid spreading resources across too many GPU projects, avoid competing mainly through low prices, reduce roadmap resets and product cancellations, and strengthen supply chain planning for HBM packaging. These SWOT strategies form the basis for the strategic alternatives. 3 alternatives were evaluated. First, pivot from AI training to AI inference wave. Second, leverage the AI PC and client ecosystem to build software scale. Third, establish leadership in the sovereign supply chain through Intel Foundry. The first alternative focuses on AI inference. This means Intel would avoid NVIDIA's strongest area, high-end AI training, and instead focus on enterprise inference where switching barriers are weaker and customers care more about cost per inference, energy efficiency, and deployment flexibility. The second alternative focuses on AI PCs and the client ecosystem. This strategy uses Intel's large PC footprint, x86 base, ARC graphics, NPUs, OpenVINO, and One API to build developer familiarity. Instead of fighting CUDA directly in the data center, Intel would seed its software ecosystem to the client and edge market. The third alternative focuses on Intel Foundry and sovereign supply chains. This strategy positions Intel as a Western-anchored alternative for AI chip manufacturing, targeting government, regulated, and enterprise customers that need secure and geographically diversified production. To compare these alternatives, a scoring matrix was used. The first scoring category is internal analysis. Based on internal fit, Alternative 2 scores the highest at 3.3 out of 4. This is because it directly addresses Intel's software ecosystem gap while using its x86 and OEM footprint. Alternative 1 scores 3.10, while Alternative 3 scores 3.05. This means that from an internal capability perspective, the AI PC and client ecosystem strategy has the best alignment with Intel's current strengths and weaknesses. The next scoring category is external analysis. In the external analysis, Alternative 1 scores highest at 3.35 because inference benefits from localized enterprise AI growth and avoids some HBM pressure. Alternative 2 follows closely at 3.25 because it reduces CUDA lock-in and uses client-side AI demand. Alternative 3 scores lower at 2.6 because foundry customers may still create strong buyer pressure. This shows that the inference strategy is externally attractive, but the AI PC strategy remains very competitive because it responds to open ecosystem demand and localized AI deployment. The third scoring category is key success factors. Under KSF analysis, Alternative 3 scores highest at 3.23 because it strongly fits manufacturing, packaging, supply chain resilience, and architecture flexibility. Alternative 2 scores 2.88 and Alternative 1 scores 2.66. However, KSF strength alone is not enough. The selected strategy must also solve Intel's current weaknesses, especially software adoption, GPU trust, and ecosystem scale. Thus, we now move to the overall scoring. Overall, Alternative 2 receives the highest average score of 3.14 out of 4. Alternative 1 falls with 3.04, while Alternative 3 scores 2.96. The scores are close, which means all three alternatives have strategic value. However, Alternative 2 has the strongest overall fit because it balances internal capability, external opportunity, and practical execution. Therefore, the best alternative is Alternative 2. Leverage the AI PC and Kind ecosystem to build software scale. To make this recommendation measurable, we use a balanced scorecard for the chosen strategy. From the financial perspective, Intel should increase AI PC and edge-related revenue by expanding Core Ultra, Arc, and NPU integrated platform across commercial laptops, creator notebooks, and enterprise devices. It should also improve margins through high-volume AI PC adoption and reduce dependence on high-end data center GPU competition. From the market and customer perspective, Intel should strengthen its AI PC position through OEM partnerships with Dell, HP, Lenovo, and other enterprise channels. It should also increase developer familiarity with OpenVINO and OneAPI while improving customer trust through better drivers, software stability, and clear AI PC benchmarks. From the internal business process perspective, Intel must improve software readiness. This includes faster driver updates, stronger AI library support, and better compatibility with PyTorch, TensorFlow, Hugging Face, VLLM, and WebNN. It should also increase OEM design wins and standardize OpenVINO and OneAPI across client and edge platforms. From the learning and growth perspective, Intel needs stronger AI software talent, developer support programs, ISV partnerships, and cross-functional coordination. The goal is to make the AI PC and edge strategy not just from a product launch, but an organizational learning system driven by developer, OEM, and enterprise feedback. We now move to the implementation timeline. The implementation is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1 is software and OEM sprint, which includes shipping Panther Lake samples to OEMs, optimizing software with PyTorch, TensorFlow, and WebNN, and pre-installing OpenVINO and developer builds. Phase 2 is commercial AI PC and edge scaling, which includes co-marketing with Dell, HP, and Lenovo, high-volume fabrication and expansion into edge applications such as automation and smart kiosks. Phase 3 is ecosystem expansion and reliability optimization, which includes bundling OneAPI and OpenVINO into Intel Window builds and using driver telemetry to improve reliability. We now look at the projected cost. The total projected cost is $5.1 billion. Phase 1 requires 1.9, Phase 2 requires 2.1, and Phase 3 requires $1.05 billion. Most of the cost is tied to foundry wafer and packaging expenses, but strategic operating expenses are also necessary for software development, OEM campaigns, and ecosystem expansion. We now summarize the recommendation. Intel currently ranks third behind NVIDIA and AMD in GPU competitiveness, with a score of 2.03 out of 4. This confirms that Intel is not yet in a position to directly challenge NVIDIA's full-stack dominance in high-end AI GPUs. However, Intel still has important strengths. These include advanced manufacturing, IDM 2.0, Intel Foundry, the x86 ecosystem, strong R&D, and supply chain resilience. Its key weaknesses are software ecosystem debt, GPU development speed, AI platform integration, and limited presence in AI training. Because of this, Intel should avoid direct competition with NVIDIA in high-end AI training GPUs. That segment is protected by CUDA, hyperscaler relationships, full-stack infrastructure, and strong developer lock-in. The best strategic option is to expand the AI PC and edge AI ecosystem. By leveraging Intel's existing PC market presence, OEM partnerships, Arc GPUs, NPUs, OpenVINO, and OneAPI, Intel can increase AI-related revenue, strengthen developer adoption, improve software maturity, and build greater relevance in the AI PC market. Therefore, Europe Consulting Group recommends that Intel build competitiveness through AI PCs, edge AI, and enterprise inference rather than challenging NVIDIA directly in AI training infrastructure. This concludes our strategic recommendation. Thank you for your time and attention. This has been Europe Consulting Group. We are now open for questions and comments.